Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Psycho. And this movie is directed by Alfred Hitchcock, and it came out in 1960. And I really loved this movie, like all of his movies. And I would say this is one of his best movies. And I've seen this one once before, and I really loved it then. And watching it this time, I think I liked it more, and I got a lot more out of it. And what I really loved about revisiting it is that I didn't review this movie yet on my channel, but sometime between me watching this movie for the first time and watching it most recently, this would be my second viewing of this movie, me watching Gus Van Sant's Psycho from 1998, and ever since I've seen that movie, I hated it. And I'm not talking about the original Psycho. The original film was always great to me, but that movie was just really offensive and just didn't understand what made the original work. And revisiting it like the original, it gave me some newfound appreciation while also giving me some new things to chew on that I didn't pick up on my first viewing. And like all Hitchcock movies, there's so much to enjoy about this movie, and the characters are very interesting, the acting is great, and the movie looks great as well. And whenever something is supposed to be scary, it's properly built up to, and the suspense just builds and builds and builds, and it's always earned. And whenever it's supposed to be like kind of jump scary, it's earned as well. And there's so much about this movie that just holds it up to be great, and it's just a really enjoyable experience, and just about anyone can watch it. And it's not too violent, even though there is some blood in it. It's not too disturbing to where the average person today, even if they're not a fan of horror movies, they can still watch this movie and enjoy it, because there's more than just the killer or violence or things like that. There's an actual story with likable characters that are properly developed, and they're very interesting. And what I really loved about revisiting the film this time was that there were little tiny details sprinkled in the movie that I didn't quite pick up on, and that made the film just a little bit better for me. And the only real complaint I would have is there was a little chunk in the middle, like just one scene where I felt it was going on for too long. It was a bit too slow compared to the rest of the movie. And I'm not trying to say that it's a bad scene at all. It's just that compared to the rest of the movie, it felt a little too slow for me personally. But I can't really complain, because the rest of the movie is just so great, and the story's interesting, and the music was great. I love the music in this movie. I love the opening credits, and there's just nothing really to drag this movie down for me. And I would definitely say that this is one of my favorite Alfred Hitchcock movies. I wouldn't say it's my personal favorite. There are some others that he did that I prefer a little bit more than this, like Rear Window I like better, The Man Who Knew Too Much from 1956, and Suspicion, which I need to revisit. Like, those movies for me are his best movies, and this one's pretty close, and it's definitely in the top 5 favorites from me. And this movie is also very iconic. I probably should have said this earlier. This movie is very iconic, and even though it has been parodied in pop culture a lot and referenced, when you sit down and watch the movie, everything about it still is really good, and it's great, and it inspired a lot of movies, and a lot of people tried to make sequels to it, and I've never seen those movies, but they just didn't look interesting. And I tried watching the show, and I got all the way up to episode 2 of season 4, and I just gave up, because I was just like, this is just too stupid for me to handle right now, and it just ruined what I liked about the original movie. And I went back to the original movie, and it was great. It was fantastic, and it's iconic for a reason. And aside from that little portion that was a little slow for me, the movie is just basically a perfect movie from beginning to end. And it's always satisfying, and there's nothing about it that leaves you wanting more, really. It's like, by the end of the film, what else could you have wanted? And the story really explores everything that it possibly could have to be interesting. And it never really overstays its welcome. And when I first watched this movie, originally it was a 9 out of 10. I really loved it, but upon this viewing, I liked it even better, so you probably know where this is going. And with all that being said, I'm going to give Psycho a 10 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos as always. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below what you thought of Psycho, and my social media links, they will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Brokeback Mountain. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.